That's really helped me grow as a teacher. It's helped improve my relationship with parents and students because they're always there. And so before, where I would shy away from maybe saying something to a parent, I don't as much anymore. So we've gotten a lot of feedback because especially from parents, because parents are always there. It's not like when they're at school and parents really don't know what's going on, they're always there. And so pretty much every day we get emails, we get remind messages, all kind of things and feedback of things. And that's really helped me grow as a teacher. It's helped improve my relationship with parents and students because they're always there. And so before, where I would shy away from maybe saying something to a parent, I don't as much anymore. And students, they love things that are new and inventive. And something that I really found was last year more than this year was using the same programs that we were already using in class and transferring those to home was really no fuss because they already realized, oh, we use this in school, and so it's really no different from home. So for reading, we use Raz-Kids at school, and so I would say, hey, get on Raz-Kids and do your 15 minutes, and that was just normal because that's what we did during reading groups anyway. And so it really helped to have some normalcy during that time is, oh, we did this at school, and now we can do it at home too. So that was pretty cool. So something that I've really learned over this time is, like at first when we began digital learning, people were saying, well, these kids are going to be so behind. They're going to be so behind. But I really look at it as the skills that they're learning. Like they're learning to log on the computer, to complete tasks by themselves, to problem solve, to time manage. And so those have been really cool skills that will definitely help them further along. I mean, I teach kindergarten, but even seeing some of these kindergartners develop those skills, I mean, that's amazing because that's going to be our world one day is they're going to be on a computer and they're going to have to do all these things. And so it's been really cool for them to be able to dabble in this stuff and to learn how to use a computer and learn how to use technology, not only as learning tools, but to assist them with learning. And we've also had to teach parents because we have parents who definitely don't know technology. And so we have to problem shoot. We have to say, hey, have you tried this? Have you done this? Have you updated your computer? I mean, it's not only that we're the teachers, we're the technology assistants, and we do all the things. So as a team, we meet weekly and we just discuss, hey, what's working for you? What's not working for you? What are some successes you've had this week? What are some troubles you've had? And so really it's brought us together more as a team because we're having to have those conversations that we may not have had before because it was just what we did. We just do because it's what we know. But this is all new to all of us. And so there's not one that knows more than another. And so it's really helped to build the team community because we are having to have those conversations where you have to be pretty vulnerable and say, hey, this didn't work, or hey, this is working well for me. Can you help me with this? Or can I show you how to do this? So that's been really neat. When I meet with my fellow teachers now, it's a whole different feeling. Before, like we would say, well, you're the expert on this, you're the expert on this. But what we've learned is there's really no expert because what we're doing has never been done before. We're blazing new trails. And so it's just really cool to learn from other people's successes and also learn from their failures. This has been a great time to just learn alongside my teammates and alongside parents and alongside students. So one success story that I have is I had this student who in the classroom was kind of checked out, we couldn't always get her to participate. We couldn't always get her to answer questions. And it turns out that she was super shy. When we had to go digital and we got on a computer, it was like she just came alive because she wasn't in front of all these people anymore. It was just to her and I on the computer. And so that was super cool just to kind of see her personality really shine and to learn that she was just shy. It wasn't that she didn't know. It wasn't that she couldn't do. It was just she did not want to do in front of a group of students. So that was really cool to see. To me, that has changed myself. It's changed me as a teacher, and the way I teach is different than it was even 6 months ago. I mean, I've learned so much about myself and about students, and at first I looked at this as an obstacle, but it's really a learning experience. It's a learning experience for me. It's a learning experience for students, and it's just a time where we're all in this together. And that's what's truly shown throughout this is we are all in this together. It's teachers, it's parents, it's students. I mean, it's just everybody working together for a common goal. So when I was thinking about what would happen to these kids over the summer, I mean, there were so many factors that played into that because March through May, which we shut down in March, are the sweet spot. I mean, that's the time when everything comes together and everything, like the learning just comes together and they get it. And so we were missing a lot of that because we were on the computer. And so that was hard to navigate through because we just kept saying, but we would be doing this if we were in school, but we would be doing this if we were in school. And so that was tough. But what we did is we kind of revamped and they're like, well, we're not in school, but we can do this. And so we would do like themed dress up days. We would have like morning meetings, come dressed as your favorite book character, or morning meetings, come dressed in your pajamas, or come with your favorite stuffed animals. So we just had all these ideas, and it wasn't what we've always done, but it made us think outside of the box. Like, how can we make this fun for kids? How can we make this enjoyable, even though we weren't in school? I did love that the students were already familiar with Raz-Kids, and so they knew how to read books, and they knew that they had to listen, read, and then take a quiz. So that was fabulous because that was no change from what we had been doing, and so the kids just kind of picked that up and kept going with it. But the resources that are there are amazing, and if we need training on anything, it would be the variety of resources that are there. I attended a district training last year where I learned that there were writing resources, and that's something that I never knew before. And I learned that there were like word work resources, and so there's just so many resources that I think teachers don't know because of time. We don't really have time to explore. We just use what we know and pull from what we know. So I think anything where teachers can learn how to better use the resources that are out there would be fantastic. So I didn't realize before we went digital that there were options to record, for students to record themselves. And so I could assign them a benchmark book and allow them to record themselves. And so I could pull a running record from that. And I had no clue. So I really think that that's going to change who I am as a teacher, what I do as a teacher, because now I know that these options are out there. And I also had a SPED cluster last year, so I had several special education students, and we needed to collect data on them while we were home. And Raz made that possible because a lot of my kids had sight word goals, and I didn't even realize, but there were sight word lists embedded into Raz that kids could go on and record themselves reading. And so there's my data. I mean, it wasn't anything that I had to invent. It was just already there. So social emotional learning is definitely the hot topic right now. How do we get these kids where they need to be? How socially, emotionally, when they're learning through a computer? I mean, that really cuts off, unfortunately, a lot of the social aspects. So what we've done is we've put them in breakout rooms with small groups of kids. So it's just like being in a room with their group. I mean, they're just learning with their group. So definitely splitting kids into small group. We've done a lot of reading books that talk about social and emotional skills. Raz-Kids has tons of books, and I really like now how there's a section for social and emotional books. So you can actually go to that section and pull off a book for whatever your kids are facing. And so that's really a new feature that I appreciate about Raz-Kids. So I really think to keep kids engaged, it's a whole new ball game now. I mean, I really think you have to change up your game every day. Where something could work for several weeks in a classroom, I don't think it necessarily works that way anymore. So coming to class like dressed up as maybe a book character you're going to read about. One time when children were engaged, I wouldn't tell them what I was doing, and I would stick a sticker on my face. So every time like a child answered a question, I would stick a sticker, and they all wanted to answer a question to see how many stickers I could get on my face. So it's just crazy things like that. And it's things that I have never thought of before. So it's really reinventing what I know is tried and true into something new. And so I think even when we do make the change and come back to the classroom, that I'll keep a lot of these things in my toolkit. And so I'll have more knowledge on how to keep kids engaged. So for the past 6 years, we have been using Raz-Kids at our school, And my knowledge about it has evolved and changed in that 6 years. I've used it in many different ways. At first, I just used it as a center for kids. And so during reading centers, they would go log on and read books. And then I realized that they didn't really understand, oh, I can level up and I can do these things and I can learn these skills. And so I really took time to say, hey, let's look at all that Raz-Kids has to offer. We can earn points and we can build things. I mean, and that was amazing. So I have used that, and I believe that that has helped raise my kids' reading levels over the past 6 years. I remember going to my academic coach at the time because Raz-Kids was new to us and we didn't know it. And I was like, I really think that Raz-Kids works. And she just kind of looked at me and she's like, okay. I said, my kids' reading levels are higher than they've ever been. And so they were really getting that opportunity to listen to books, to read books, to answer questions, and that was helping their overall performance in class. The COVID slide or the COVID gap I have seen this year, it's not as bad as I thought it would be because I was, as a kindergarten teacher, I was like, these kids have lost 3 months of pre-K. They're not going to know letters. They're not going to know letter sounds. But we've been very fortunate. And we see little gaps, like maybe more with social emotional because they weren't around kids for so long and they were with their parents. And sometimes their parents just let them do whatever they want. And so that's really the only gap we've seen. They really have embraced learning. They're getting it. Our scores look very similar to years past, so that's all encouraging to see.